Good freaking morning and welcome to the She Scales podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Buckland, and I am so excited for this episode and to be back with you. I'm so sorry you didn't get an episode last week. It was absolutely crazy. We had Nyepi in Bali, which was a silent day, completely silent. Before that, the construction... Love Bali dearly, but there's a lot of construction in the area and sometimes they will go all out, and that was last week just before Silent Day, trying to get everything wrapped up before even they have to stop for the day. And then right after that, and then we had the power cut, there was that as well, and then we had Main Character Energy, the live summit, 3 days of all day every day main character energy. So we had a lot going on last week. It was absolutely incredible. What a roller coaster. So I'm really glad to be back. I'm going to be binging with even more episodes for you to binge along with. I am super excited to share with you. I've had such incredible feedback from the podcast. And when people message me being like, Sarah, I just listened to this episode. I absolutely loved it. Especially the fuck yes money in March. I love that. It brings me such joy. So this is also a little message for you. Like, I am high energy right now, coming off the back of Main Character Energy last week, hosting that 3-day summit, taking a few days to like really relax and recuperate and like restore my energy. And now we're back, baby. We are back. We are excited. Oh my freaking God. I hope the sun shines a little brighter for you. I hope your coffee is a little stronger. I hope your food tastes even more incredible. I hope you skip through your day. I hope your sex is even better. I just wish you the most wonderful day, week, month, freaking year. It's a leap year this year. Go get your bag, girl. It is time for you. This is your year. Oh, I feel so good. I literally haven't even had coffee today. This is just me. There's something I also want to share with you is that like one of the reasons I'm really excited is that I am working on something else as well as Main Character Energy this summit. I'm working on a brand new offer, and this is why I'm so excited to bring this out to you. And so I just want to share with you because sometimes there can be like seasons in business where, and I've talked about this before, where you're not fully in alignment either with your business or with your offers, or something feels a bit sticky or off and you're just like, Whereas other times things can be good, but you know that they could be better. So if you're in category B in that one, because obviously if you're in category A, you already know you need to do something about that. But if you're in category B and you're like coasting at maybe like 70% and you're like, things are good, but I know that they could be excellent. Girl, I'm speaking to you when I say go be excellent. It's no good you being just coasting at good. You're not doing your clients the best service. You're doing them a good service, sure, but you're capable of brilliance. So you owe it to them to give your brilliance, and also you owe it to yourself. So whether you're someone that's putting out offers that like you missed bits out of and you're like, I wish I'd not dropped the ball on that one, or you're putting out offers that you're like, I know my clients could be getting better results if I tweaked this or added this or took this thing away or restructured that. I'm not saying you necessarily need to, burn down the business, as people love to say. I burned it down and rebuilt it from the ground. No, you didn't. You closed your tabs. Come on. Come the freak. I cannot stand when people say that. I burnt it down. Honey, you work online. You closed Google Drive. Shut up. Anyway, that was my little... Oh, I've come off track now. Where were we? Right, coming back. Offer refinement. This isn't even the nature of today's podcast, but I just want to say this to you because I'm having such an incredible time, and it's because I'm pouring into what I know is going to be a game changer of an offer. So I'm really excited, and that is the biggest reason behind my own Main Character Energy right now. Like, it's given me a whole new level of excitement because it's taking everything that I've already done very well and I'm putting it together to create masterpiece. The masterpiece. So really freaking exciting. So if you're someone that you're just like, do you know what? Things are good. Like my clients are getting good results. I'm signing clients consistently. Like things are hunky-dory, you know? I don't need to rock the boat. No, but if you did rock the boat, or fuck it, if you fixed the boat, you could buy a bigger boat. It's just, my mind is excited today. And so this is the little note to you to be like, look around at where things either could be tighter, brighter, more streamlined, more efficient. I can't talk about it just yet, or can I? I don't know. I don't know whether it's wise to talk about it, but there was something that happened in January. That makes it sound like it was bad. It was good. It was a great thing, but it hasn't quite materialized yet. And I don't know if it will. So this is why I don't want to share it yet. But there was something that happened in January, which had the potential to be catastrophic in the best way, like, send me to planet Pluto. And the way that made me step up, the way that I was like, okay, if that happens, we cannot run the business in the way that it's currently running. So what would we need to do differently to prepare to fly to Pluto? Let me go do that now. This episode was not what I was planning, but I mean, we're here now. So whether that thing, I will share it one day because it's really, really exciting. And it literally speaks to everything that I teach you all of the time. Something happened. Someone reached out because of my content for an opportunity. Now, that opportunity hasn't come to light just yet. Don't know if it will. We'll see. But the fact that that person even knows I exist and found me and reached out for a potential opportunity made me go away. And I was like, okay, if that thing was to materialize, what would we need to do differently? Because there's no way that currently the business isn't set up for that level of scale right now. So what would I need to do? What would I need to build? What would I need to create? What would I need to have in place to support that level of scale? Girl, go ask yourself those questions. I firmly believe that was the universe literally sending me a level up. It does not matter whether that opportunity materializes or not, because that was the universe being like, have you got all of your ducks in line? Because if not, we've got some tightening up to do. And so what's been following since then, behind the scenes, has been a lot of research, development, refinement, really looking at what's working well, improving things, systems, new platform move. Like, so much has been happening behind the scenes. So this is where I'm just like, yes! Because I know that thing was sent to me for a reason. That was a really big, not even a wake-up call, because I was already aware of those things. But when the opportunity arrived at my door, I was like, okay, it's here. Shite. If nothing comes of it, I will share it at some point because it's really fucking exciting. But, so I'm just sharing that with you. Let me get on to the meat and bones of this episode. But I know that you took something from that, whether that was just an inspirational Monday morning or whenever you're listening to this, or a little spring in your step, or a reminder that you deserve great coffee, great sex, and great exercise. And you just deserve to feel all of the natural goodness serotonins. Is it serotonin? The good hormones? There's serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, and I forgot what the fourth one is. But have a look at that little quadrant, by the way. I swear I'll get onto the episode topic in a second. But go look up happy hormones, and there's a quadrant, and it's oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, and what is the fourth one? I can't remember. And it's what gives you each of those happy hormones. So oxytocin, I believe, is the touch, physical touch. So things like hugging your pet, hugging humans, that's where you get that happy hormone from. Dopamine is your, I'm going to fluff this right up now. Dopamine is your feel good. That is either your cheap release dopamine, things like scrolling on TikTok, binging Netflix, but it's also your good hormones, so things like your natural release when you have exercise and good sleep, or maybe that's serotonin. I don't know, I'm getting it all mixed up. Go have a look at what the 4 hormones quadrants are, because it's really interesting to see where you're like, oh yeah, I do all of those things, like I eat well, I sleep well, I work out, like those things are all really good, but I don't get enough daily sunshine, or I don't get enough, I need to go hugging more people. Have a little look at where the things are and see if you can notice where your gaps in your happy hormones are. This is like the most brilliant lead into main character of energy talk. Literally go look at which hormones you're missing and go do the things that would create more of that hormone. There you go. You're welcome. I'm going to have to put that in my main character energy notes. I can't believe I just freestyled that. Anyway, let me come into the wrap up of last week, because the main character energy live summit was one of the most incredible things that I've done in my business. And that came about, I was chatting with my mentor towards the start of the year. And when she said she suggested it, the word summit. And I was like, what? I didn't even really know what a summit was. I'd never been to a summit, never even attended one, never signed up for one. I've been to a few Tony Robbins online things. And I was like the free version. I haven't done any of his paid events. I will at some point. But I was like, how's this going to work? But the more I thought about it, and when I say the more I think about something, I'm speaking in terms of minutes and hours. Like, I'm not someone to think, let me just sit with this for 2 months. That's not me at all. For me to sit with it, I would have made a decision that same day. If it's usually within a couple of hours. Sometimes not even that. When my brainwave comes, I'm very instinctual to be like, does that feel good in my body? If it's yes, let's go. That's all it needs to be. If it doesn't feel good in my body, I pay attention to, is that a hesitancy just because it's new and actually it's excitement? Or is it a hesitancy because it doesn't feel aligned? That's different. So I pay attention to that. If it feels new and exciting, it does not matter if I don't know the how at all. All that matters is that I want to go. When I say I want to go, this is like when you think about a new holiday destination. You don't think, oh, I'd love to go to Hawaii. Let me research all the flight companies that fly to Hawaii. You don't need to know how you're getting to Hawaii. That's not the first thing that you dive into. You can look at flights and how you're getting there after, sure, but you choose the destination first. This is exactly the same with selling, by the way, guys. You have to make people aware of where they're going before you talk about how they're getting there. And it's the same thing with you when you're creating massive change or massive action, or you're deciding to bring in something new. You've got to decide what that thing is and not be overly concerned about how it's going to happen. Trust that you'll figure it out. Google is a free resource. There are 10-step plans for everything. So don't worry about the how. I've had so many people message me being like, oh my God, how did you do it? And even if I was to share the exact steps that I have taken, those wouldn't work for you because you are you and I am me. You are a different person. You have a different personality. You have different relationships. You have a different vibe. You have a different business. You have a different way of doing things. So even if I gave you what I did, that's not to say that it would work for you, because you are your own person. You work in your own way. So how isn't the right question. The right question for you is, what's a big, bold move for you that would grow your business in some way? Like, this summit for me wasn't let me, get super visible and make loads of sales off the back of it. That's not actually what this was about at all. This was about, I want to really increase my visibility, because that is my goal for this year, is to get visible as fuck. And so This was, let me create an extraordinary free event, where I speak to some of the absolute biggest pioneers, trailblazers, industry leaders, and I pull up a chair with them and I become the voice for people, and I'm able to extract that information and give it to others for free. I know that I'm good with getting to the root of things, uncovering things. This is maybe my law background. I almost debated, I did qualify in law and criminology, and I was going to go and be a lawyer, and I think I would have been really good at thinking on my feet and coming up with debates in court. That, if you look at my personality profile, that also says that, by the way. And so I've always known that whether it's in conversation or thinking on my feet or being able to ask good questions or get to the second level of information underneath the first bit that was just given or just provided, and encourage people to open up. I've always been really, really good at that. And so when I first came up with the idea of this summit, even though I had no idea how to do it, I thought that would be really good and it would play to all of my strengths. It's going to be entirely video, entirely online. It's going to be great for visibility. I already know exactly who, and this was the clue for me, is that within the same 5 minutes of first coming up with this idea, I already knew the 5 to 10 people that I would reach out to instantly. I was writing the notes on my phone of, if I was to host a summit, here's who I would invite. So within 5 minutes of that conversation, and I think I drafted the invitation message that same evening. I did. I sent it to 3 people the evening, and this was it's about 10 or 11 o'clock in my evening, and I sent the message. So it would have been within the hour. I reached out to the first three speakers, and then the next day, because I had yeses from the first 3, and I was like, oh my God, shedding my pants with excitement. And so the next day I did a few more. I think I did about 6 or 7 the next day, and then a few more the next day. I knew that I would potentially get some no's, so I decided reaching out to people. And I reached out to people who really inspired me. These are people that I have known for a long time, I've followed for a long time. I know their business, their vibe. For some of them, I know their offers. I've either gone to masterclasses or watched lives with them or absorbed a lot of their content. These aren't just people that I found on the internet and was like, you'd be a good fit. No. So these are all people that I knew and that they had inspired me. I knew that they really personified what main character of energy is for me. They'd got a brand that was so them that nobody else would come close. You know, they've gone so far down their lane, they own it. There's no other option. They are in a lane of one. And so I reached out to those people, honestly expecting some no's. I was prepared for that. That's fine. I can handle rejection. We're good. So when I got a lot of yeses, I was like, oh my God, it's happening. Really, really freaking exciting. Really exciting. And so, people were just like, this is really cool. I love that you're putting this together. Yeah, I'd love to be involved. I was like, oh my God. And so obviously last week was the summit week itself. 3 speakers per day across multiple time zones. So I was actually running the event based on US time zone whilst I'm in Asia. And so there were times where it was my morning, but I was advertising it as the end of day 2. Day 3 was starting over here while day 2 was over there. All very interesting. But anyway, we had multiple time zones. We had people signing up from every corner of the globe, from Australia to Asia to South Africa to Canada to the US to UK to Europe. Absolutely freaking incredible. I just love seeing it all happen, and me waking up and seeing that more people had joined overnight, and I could celebrate them with the post-it notes on the wall. I celebrated every single person as if they were a paying client. I was like, yeah, you go, girl. And I was just so excited to share and support people and be able to bring people in for this free experience where you get to show up live and listen to people who've built multi-6-figure businesses, 7-figure businesses, some of them multi-7-figure businesses. Like, how incredible is that? And be able to ask questions, not just to like their strategy, their mindset, their business model, their content, their way of doing things, and be able to ask them questions live, but to give people the opportunity to also get in the room and ask their questions and get customized feedback. Like, absolutely freaking incredible. I absolutely loved it. And so here are some of the lessons that I took away from that week, that experience, that I want to share with you. Lessons we learned. So across the 9 speakers, we had such different ways of doing things. So the first thing is there are so many ways to scale a business. So many. Every person, and like I'd say one of my favorite examples was on day 1 where we had Rachel Spencer come on first, immediately followed by Ashley Bennington from By the Blazer. And they are such different women, but they are both icons in their own way. So Rachel is very pink, very sparkly, has built entirely on Instagram and mostly on Instagram stories. And her method is all around launches where she gets people really excited. She gets loads of people DMing her. She has like these really big launches every year. And then we speak to Rachel, who is like the complete opposite, far more in her masculine. She is like, the brand is called By the Blazer. So it's blazer. She was wearing all black on the call. And she was talking about her ex-corporate background and just her far more strategy way of doing things and staying true to the business core foundations. So, just getting really good at marketing, really good at sales, really good at offers, and really good at client results. And her method that's unique to her was to grow really big on TikTok. And so she's got this like corporate brand on Instagram, but on TikTok you can find her just chilling in a hoodie, talking about stuff, and people just wanted to come in and buy from her. And so she hasn't done any launches whatsoever. So it's really interesting to have those two side by side, one after the other. People come to both, and it was completely poles apart way of doing things, and yet both have been really wildly successful in their way. And as that continued throughout the week, we had Raina, she wasn't in the masculine strategy at all. She's all about attracting and preparing your body to receive. The mindset of, getting yourself ready for wealth, preparing yourself, money mindset, manifestation, attracting things, being in the energy of receiving rather than being in the do. We heard from Erica, who was all about completely different marketing strategies that aren't anything to do with launching. We heard from Leah, who hasn't done any launches in her life, but she's built from being a freelancer on LinkedIn, scaling up to a multi-6-figure business and having 400 people in her membership, and has a 6-month wait list to get in. And she's not pink and sparkly. She doesn't use Instagram stories. She barely uses Instagram at all, to be honest. It's all been entirely on LinkedIn. So completely new platform, completely new way of doing things. She doesn't show up and do a whole lot of video. A lot of her content is through posting. So, and that continues throughout the week. Through all the different people that we listened to, everyone had a very different way of doing things, a different brand, a different way of being, a different feeling, a different strategy, a different mindset. So there are so many ways to scale a successful business. The best way is your way. But what I will add to that is, yes, the best way is your way. But the core business principles are never going to change. As long as you're following the core business principles, then yes, do it in your own way. The core business principles of understanding your audience, creating offers that people want and need and that get good results, marketing those offers, sales. Those 4 principles are never going to change. You need to understand your customer, provide what your customer wants, give a good customer experience, debatable whether those are separate things. I'm going to say yes, they are separate things. And then marketing and sales, like getting good at marketing, understanding what people want and need from you, what they want to hear, what is going to invite someone to come in versus what's just going to keep them walking. You know, understanding good marketing is the key, which goes back to understanding your customer. And then sales, you know, having that clear process to be converting people, to be attracting and converting at scale. So those things will never change. How you apply them within your business, your way of doing things, there's endless different ways. You know, the school system will teach you that 1 + 1 = 2, and that any other way of doing things is wrong. There's only one way to find the right answer. And that is not the real world at all. In the real world, there's multiple different ways to find the right answer. Also, what is the right answer? Like, that's going to vary from person to person anyway. But there's multiple different ways to get to the end destination. So you get to pick the way that feels good to you. As long as you're following those core business principles, you can build in a way that feels good to you. So what I would add lastly on here is, what are you known for? You know, if you're building things that you want someone to know you for your main character energy, what does that look like for you? What are you known for? When people think of you, what are the either words that they would use to describe? Or maybe like it's a colour or a feeling or a place. In fact, I'm just going to ask you this question. If I was to ask people now, I'm just going to use the name Lucy, and I said, what 3 words come to mind when you think of Lucy? What would they say? Like, ask your audience this. It's a really good exercise to ask people. What 3 words come to mind when people think of you? And are those the 3 words that you want? Good food for thought there. Because if those words aren't the things that you want, that's your sign to change those things. What are you known for? Like, make yourself known for something. Whether it's your vibe, whether it's something that you speak about all the time, whether it's something you're passionate about. Like, what is your belief system? Like, what do you give a shit about? What do people know you for? It's got to be bigger than just you or your offers. What do people know you for? What do they think of? And they think like, yes, that's her. Da, 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 da. You know, what would follow your name if, let's say, you came to mind in a conversation, or your name was dropped on LinkedIn and someone was like, oh yeah, I know her. She's the da, 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 da. So what would that look like for you? So those are some things, lessons you can take away from the summit. If you want to go watch all of the recordings, I've now built the All Access Pass. So I'll drop the link to get the pass in the show notes here. It's £49. You get all 9 recordings from those interviews. In there is absolute gold dust that is worth thousands. Absolute thousands. So whether you're building on Instagram, whether you're using Reels, whether you're using Stories, whether you're using TikTok, whether you're using LinkedIn, whether you're using emails, using emails, whether you want to use magazines and brochures, whether you want to, what else did we cover? Systems, technology, content, messaging, like wherever you need to refine your expertise, the answer is in these interviews. And the women that came on dropped such value. And I remember having this thought last week. This is why I took like 2 to 3 days to just do absolutely nothing. Is that there was so much information shared that, like, my brain, I remember thinking and being in the interviews being like, I needed to hear that, but I don't know if I'll retain it in this conversation right now. I'm going to have to listen to this again. That's how good all of the interviews were. So because I absorbed quite a lot in a short space of time, and so even if you're someone that caught the first few, I would encourage you to get the pass, go through one at a time and digest the information from one, and give yourself at least a day, if not a weekend, to digest what that person said and what that means to you. Because at least then you're giving yourself a chance to go and action what they said, go and test it out, go and refine it, go and get good at that thing. Or if that person's strategy doesn't feel aligned for you, that's absolutely fine, and then you can go on to the next one. But all of the interviews, so much gold was shared that if you only took action from one of those interviews, it would blow up your business, wildly wildly. And so wholly encourage you to get the all access pass. This gives you lifetime access to go back and listen to all of the interviews. So I'm not going to be posting these or sharing these anywhere. These are for the people that buy the all access pass, so that you've got the lifetime access there. It's all built into one page so that you've got it. You can bookmark it. You can come back and watch them as many times as you want. There's so much gold to be had from all of the ladies that participated last week. Oh, so incredible. I know I'm going to be watching those, like whether you're someone that is already killing it, whether you're doing like 15k, 20k months, 50k months, like if you're doing less than 200k a month, you will find value in these. So the bar's pretty high. If you're doing more than 200k a month, send me a message. I'd love to have you on the podcast. So yes, there is endless value. Whether you're someone that is just starting out in their journey, wants to hear from people who've built wildly successful businesses in their own way. They've scaled their own main character energy and just to create incredible businesses. Or you're someone who's already made good tracks. You're on your way, you're growing, you're scaling your own offers. Like there is so much gold in these. So I will drop I will drop the link for the all access pass below. Only £49, and you get lifetime access then and can watch and rewatch these as many times as you want to. If it were me, this is something that I tried to do last week, but honestly there was just so much going on. If it were me, I would buy the pass, listen to the interviews, and I would schedule one. Like I do my learning on a Friday, so I'd put one on a Friday morning every week for the next 9 weeks. I would get up Otter or a transcribing app on the other screen so that I could be having the note taker take notes of the interview whilst I take my own notes, so that I've got all of the digital ones, but I've got handwritten the ones that were important to me or that stood out or that allowed me to have a light bulb moment. I'm just going to share that little strategy with you so that you've got everything all typed up. You can always go back and read the interview as well or highlight your favourite bits and come back to that timestamp. But handwritten, you've got the moments that were like for you. Now, girl, I know that the people in those rooms had light bulb moments because me as the host, you hear me have light bulb moments. I remember the first interview was with Rachel and she said something and I was like, I cannot believe I've never done that. And that was an interview one. I was like, oh my gosh, you shared something like, seems so no-brainer now, you know it. And if you watched my stories last week, there was multiple times when that happened last week. People said stuff and I was like, seems no-brainer now that you've said it. And this is why you get in the room, guys. Because there can be any number of things that seem so obvious to other people, but that weren't obvious to you. But when you hear it, you're like, goddamn. How have we just arrived here? For reference, that second one was Raina on her interview, which was my Wednesday morning. And she had messaged me this in advance, to be fair. She didn't just spring it on me in the live, but she was like, Sarah, why aren't you doing a talk in your own summit? When I tell you that it left me speechless. I was like, I don't know. Genuinely don't know. Had never thought about it. Had not thought about it. Because I dived into action so quickly of like, oh my God, this summit, I'm going to bring together all these incredible people. And I just run with it. It hadn't even crossed my mind that even though main character energy is my thing and that people know me for this thing, that I would be a speaker in this. And when she said it, like, Sarah, why aren't you speaking? As if it was the most obvious thing in the world, which it was. It was literally like a truck hit me. I was like, why did I not think of that before? And so I did decide to host a training on the last day. But this is what I mean. This is why you get into rooms. Get into rooms with people who deeply see you. I met Raina last year. We were in a mastermind together. And so she's come to really know me. And do you know the brilliance now that she's able to reflect back to me of my brilliance? And you need those people around you. She will be able to share, whether it's a question, whether it's something to think about, that will massively help me. Or it's just a little nugget like that of like, I'm just going to leave that with you. And I'm like, okay. And so you need those people around you. This actually leads really well into Dev's talk, because she was talking so much about like community and network and the people that you're around. And I can wholeheartedly say, like, for me, Raina, I'm so grateful that I met that woman because I was in a mastermind with her. The conversations that we have, the way that we've got to know each other. I'm actually flying to LA next month and I'm going to meet her in person. She's not the reason I'm going, but I'm going to be seeing her. She lives in LA, and I was like, Raina, I'm coming to LA. And so this is your sign to get in communities of people, because I'm so grateful I met her. She is an absolute light in this world. Her interview was one of my favourite of the week. And the same for everybody that was on that call. The chat was popping off saying, oh my God, I needed to hear this today. Oh my God, this was such a light bulb moment. Like, Raina dropped absolute gold. And she was quite a different vibe to a lot of the different ladies, because she's not masculine strategy, do. She's all in there receiving, being, attracting. So her conversation was really light, energizing, inspiring. You will leave that interview with so many ideas, a different way of thinking about things, a different way of being about things. So yeah, one of my favorite interviews of the entire week. So like, her interview alone would be worth the All Access Pass in its entirety. Every single person there, like, I could charge $500 for this pass, because the stuff that is in there is absolute gold. So whipping this back together, I'm really like absolutely mind blown by everything that happened in the Main Character Energy Live Summit. Which means, and I checked the dates as well, we are just under 3 months until Main Character Energy, the live event in London. It's going to be on the Thursday, the 13th of June in London, in a secret location, to be revealed as we get closer. P.S. I think I found the venue this week. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. But I'll reveal the venue later on. But we are on the 3-month countdown to Main Character Energy. So I'm super, super excited. We are in early bird tickets until the end of March. So if you're listening to this in March, snap up your early bird tickets now, because the price will be going up from April. So make sure you snap up your ticket. Last year, this event was the biggest thing on social media. It absolutely blew up. It was all over, across every platform. I had people messaging me from all platforms being like, Sarah, I've seen your event. It's everywhere. It looks freaking incredible. And I was like, yeah, bitch. Yeah, it was. I had people telling me it was the best day that they've had in business so far. I had one girl say it was up there with her wedding day. Like, Main Character Energy was hands down the best single day of my business. Main Character Energy, and then photo shoots underneath, because I love a photo shoot, we know this. Just because of how much they make you feel incredible, But as a business day, Main Character Energy was my favourite day of my entire business journey. And I know that was shared by everyone that was there. So I'm really, really, really excited to bring this back. It's going to be Thursday the 13th of June. Make sure you get your early bird tickets. If you're like, what is Main Character Energy? So this day is a combination of business, sales, mindset, and energy workshops. It's a day for female entrepreneurs to come together to learn, to be inspired, to mingle with other women. There's going to be breakout sessions, there's activities. It's a day to come and boost you up, to give you not just more ideas about how to scale your business to multi-six figures in 2024, but to lift you on an energetic level, to get you around other powerful women, to get you in the room with people who are doing incredible things, like build your network from the people that are in this room, and just have a fun as fuck business day, The girlies like the things. It's nice to have a day where you get dressed up, you travel into London, you do your hair just so, you've got your outfit ready, you're getting on the train, like business trip, content. I love all the traveling to and from somewhere content. Like one of my most popular reels last year was literally me sat on the M1 singing Beyonce. I recorded it in my car. It took me 10 seconds. It was my most popular reel. Like crazy. The event content and all the build up is so exciting. So I know that a lot of you have already bought your tickets to Main Character Energy. So super excited to see you start shopping for your outfits soon. And for the ladies that are going to be joining us, yes. So Thursday the 13th of June, make sure you put it in your diary. I'll be revealing the venue as we get closer. You're going to have swag bags. There's going to be, I'll be hosting multiple workshops throughout the day. There's going to be multiple other surprises. So I'm not telling you anything more just yet, but I'll drop the link for the tickets in the show notes here. Make sure you sign up before the end of March if you want to get your early bird tickets. All right, Queen, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Honestly, I learned so much from the summit, and I could do a whole other episode on things that I would either improve or do differently, or lessons, and maybe I will. We shall see. But I hope that you've enjoyed all of this, and I shall see you inside the next episode. I hope to see you at Main Character Energy, the live event in London. And if you're snapping up your all access pass, when you are watching through, if there's a certain speaker that you're either loving, take a picture of it and share it to stories, and add me and the speaker so that we can see it. I would love to see who you're binging, who you're most inspired by. Share it to your stories that I can reshare it. I would love to see who you're enjoying most in the All Access Pass. All right, Queen, I shall speak to you very soon.